Hey gorgeous, welcome to the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society, a woman's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching, creator of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really any symptom of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly because we will be interviewing amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're just beginning your fertility journey or you've been struggling for years, we are going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Are you ready? Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get started on your road to transformation. Hey gorgeous, welcome back to the show. I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we're going to talk to some amazing experts and really dive into topics all around fertility. So you're not going to want to miss a single show. If you haven't already, take a minute and hit that subscribe button. That will ensure that you never miss a single episode. So we'll take 1 second. We can wait. Hit that button and make sure you're all set. Also, I would be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. This will help more people find this show, and it will allow us to help even more women on their journeys with fertility and hormones. And this is how iTunes decide who is shown what. So this way you can do your part to help the infertility community, and it would make me so very excited. So thank you. I would be forever grateful if you would do that for me. Thanks, gorgeous. And now let's get on with the show. Hey, beautiful. Do I have some exciting news to share with you? Because of countless requests and being frustrated as hell that I cannot help more people, and let's face it, there's only so many hours in a day, I have decided to do something super cool just for you. I have created a membership site. And on this platform, I'm going to provide you with lots of education, inspiration, community, hope, and a ton of fun. And to give you a little pleasure in a time that sometimes is everything but pleasurable. Every month, there will be new areas to explore and new people to connect with. All of this and more. So many resources to help you put the pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so you can finally get pregnant and eliminate those pesky hormone symptoms without spending thousands of dollars or jeopardizing your precious time. To learn more about this exciting new membership or to join, visit coachkayla.com/membership. I'll see you on the inside. And don't forget, if you join by November 5th, you get 50% off your first month, making your membership only $20. Stephanie Roth can help you create the family of your dreams and the life you love. A certified fertility counselor and integrative nutrition health coach, Stephanie offers seasonal cleanse programs, online tools, custom meditations, and fertility coaching programs to help you thrive on your fertility journey. Stephanie is a yoga junkie practicing for 20 years, a wellness enthusiast, a marathon runner, and a 50-year-old first-time mom of a 6-year-old. Faced with a diagnosis of severe diminished ovarian reserve at age 42 and a prediction of less than 2% that she would conceive with her own eggs, she took her fertility into her own hands, supplementing modern medicine with an integrative healthcare program that she designed herself. as a result, she conceived her son after just a year of trying and with no medical intervention. She steadfastly believes in the power of clean living and intervention, setting us to help achieve our dreams. Let's welcome Stephanie to the show. Hey, Stephanie, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Kayla, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I love your story, and I know our listeners will too. So just tell us a little bit more about who you are and your story with infertility.
Sure. So I actually didn't kind of late to the game, came kind of late to the game. I met my husband when I was almost 35. Got married when I was 38 and didn't even start really trying to have a baby till I was 41, almost 42. So I kind of didn't have age on my side from the beginning.
Yeah.
But, we finally decided to go ahead and start trying. We'd been married for a few years at that point. Decided that, the time was finally right for both of us to go ahead and give that a go. We actually got pregnant the second month trying. So kind of right out of the starting gate. And I was like, wow, this was so easy. This is awesome. And then I suffered a first trimester miscarriage. So that was when I kind of learned that, maybe it's not going to be quite as easy as I thought it would. After recovering, bouncing back from my miscarriage, when my cycles started getting back to normal, we decided to go seek out help from a fertility specialist, and we both had testing. And we learned that everything came back, kind of normal and, good shape for my husband, and that the issue was with me. I had the kind of disastrous recipe of high FSH, very, very low AMH that put my egg supply in the undetectable category, and a very low antral follicle count. It was never higher than 5.
Wow.
So kind of all of those things taken together led my doctor to diagnose me with very severe diminished ovarian reserve and recommend that I kind of bypass trying naturally, bypass IUI, bypass IVF using my own eggs, and go straight to donor eggs. He said that I had less than a 2% chance of conceiving with my own eggs.
Wow.
So that was kind of hard news to swallow, it's a big shock when you're told that. It just kind of feels like you're getting punched in the stomach. But I kind of took a few weeks to sort of process that news and, decided that I wasn't opposed to going the donor egg route. I just didn't want to start there. And it just didn't feel to me kind of intuitively. It didn't feel like that's the path that, was going to lead me to having my child. That just did not feel like the way my child was going to be born. So I told my doctor that I wanted to try IUI first. I really wanted to give it a go with my own eggs first. And I wanted kind of a less invasive approach, a more natural approach. I wanted to try IUI first. And thankfully, he was very supportive. We did 4 rounds of IUI. And on the 4th one, we did conceive our son a month before my 43rd birthday, almost to the day. And now he is almost 7. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and it was a very uneventful pregnancy. Everything, I sailed through all my tests, was never treated as high risk in any way.
Wow.
So, I really do believe that, I feel that I'm living proof and my son is living proof that it is not too late, to get pregnant at an advanced age and in a safe, and have it be, a safe, uneventful pregnancy and birth.
Right. I love that. And I love that you did not take your doctor saying you have less than 2% chance and say, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to go to donor, because so many people would. Same thing with me. They told me you have unexplained infertility. We don't know if you'll be able to get pregnant without assistance. And I was like, no, I'm not taking that. I can do this. I know my body can do it. So great job.
Yeah,
for you that too.
2 things that you said really kind of strike a chord with me. I really take issue with that whole diagnosis of unexplained infertility. I feel like it's not an explanation at all. It's not a diagnosis at all. And I feel like there's always an explanation. There's always an answer. And sometimes we have to do some digging to find what that is. But, I feel like unexplained infertility is just kind of a misnomer, really. So there's that. And yeah, I think a lot of it is just about learning how to listen to and tune into our bodies, because our bodies know so much. Our bodies have so much wisdom, and they're always telling us things through, our health, signs in our health, our menstrual cycles. It's just, we as women haven't really been taught about our bodies from the time that we were small. And so now that we're older, we're kind of playing catch up a little bit, and we're being forced through a fertility journey, to learn about our bodies now. And they have so much to tell us, and our bodies have all the answers.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I always say our period is like our report card, and we need to listen to that. So I love that you say that. And if I'm doing the math correctly, so you had your son at 43, is that correct?
Yes, my son was born a few months before I turned 44.
Okay. And so what do you think was a couple of things that you did to really make sure that IUI was going to stick? Was there anything that you changed with like your diet or your lifestyle?
So, Kayla, I have kind of three main kind of top tips for anyone who's trying to conceive on any fertility journey, but particularly for women over the age of 35. And first, I would recommend that you get laser focused on your cycles, especially if you're trying naturally. I mean, knowing about your cycles, again, we touched upon it earlier, knowing your cycles, knowing your body, learning what your body's telling you through your cycles, that is knowledge that can help any and all women through any health journey at any age, but particularly on a fertility journey, it just really helps you nail down your ovulation, which is, the pinnacle event of our cycle, really hone in on our ovulation, our unique patterns, because they vary from person to person. You can learn what is and is not normal for you. And you can get indications of when it might be time to go see a doctor if something is, kind of showing up different in your body. So, you can learn how to kind of recognize what's unique for you, and if something's different, to go get it checked out by a doctor. So first and foremost, really getting a handle on your cycles and really getting laser focused on your cycles. It's so important. And second of all, you did mention this, learning how to take care of ourselves physically is very important for this journey. Again, it's important for any woman to be, at optimal health for a fertility journey. And not just for those of us over 35, it just gives us, it helps us be the healthiest you can be. And it just gives you that edge, helps you maximize your chances. So, things like diet, movement, how we move our bodies, how much and how often, and what type of exercise we're doing, sleep, how much we're sleeping, how we're taking care of ourselves, how we're managing our stress, how we're managing our relationships with other people, basically how we are showing up in the world and caring for ourselves physically and spiritually and emotionally. Those are all things that we want to be paying attention to as well. And finally, Kayla, one thing that I learned through my own journey through fertility in my early 40s is that this is a mindset. It's a mindset game, and it's really important to, in kind of bringing your A game to the fertility journey, it's really important to have the mindset to set yourself up for success. So there's so many tools that can help you do that. But really, learning how to believe in yourself and trust in yourself and have faith in your journey. And it's not the same thing as being positive and being hopeful, although those things are important also. It really is learning how to cultivate that faith and that trust that motherhood is just around the corner for you. And I would venture to say that that's the most important piece of the three. I'd like to say they're all equally important, but I think that cultivating that mindset is probably the most important thing.
And I find that is so very important because it really can help you thrive during this journey instead of just wallowing in the, well, what ifs? I don't know if this is going to work. This has never worked before, like that rabbit hole that you can find yourself in.
It's so easy to go down that rabbit hole, Kayla. And I'll tell you, I was doing my IUI cycles, the first one, I did get another positive and had another loss. The second one was negative. When I went to go in for the third IUI, I went in for, the day 3 baseline testing, and my hormone levels came back kind of crazy, and I had cysts. And basically, my cycle was canceled. I was told, you're sitting out this month. Call us next month when you get your period, and we'll try again. My cycle was canceled, and I was devastated. I was so devastated. And it ended up being that kind of imposed upon me, break that cycle, ended up becoming 3 months away from the RE's office. The next month came, I got my period, and I looked at the calendar, and I was like, oh crap, I had all this work travel scheduled. I knew I'd be away during a lot of the key monitoring days. So I couldn't do it that month. Next month after that, period comes, look at the calendar. I'm like, oh crap, it's like Christmas. We're going away for Christmas. We're going to be away during all the kind of key monitoring time again. Just for one reason or another, I didn't plan it that way, but it ended up being 3 months away before I went back for another IUI cycle. And during that time, it was kind of a turning point for me, because I really took some time. I had the time to really kind of take stock of where I was at in my journey. And I was just like, I don't understand. I'm, doing all the right things. I'm eating well. I'm doing yoga. I'm trying to get good sleep. I'm taking vitamins. I'm taking care of myself. And all I have to show were like these 2 miscarriages and all these negative pregnancy tests and a canceled cycle. Like what's up? And I just, I had been a long-time yoga practitioner at that point. And so I was accustomed to sitting in silence and kind of listening for guidance from the universe. And so I kept up with my yoga practice, and that guidance came. And it really came in the form of, asking myself, do I really believe that this is going to happen for me? And I'd always been very optimistic and very hopeful and waxing very positive. But I learned as I kind of started tuning into myself more that I didn't really believe that it was going to happen to me. We have conversations with ourselves all day, every day in our heads, and most of the time we don't even hear it. It's like white noise. And I started tuning in to the conversations I was having with myself. And I was telling myself things like, you're too old. You're 42. Why do you think you can do this at 42? Your eggs are crap. You don't have very many of them left. The doctor told you that. Of course, you're going to be the one who struggles. Why would you think that you would be able to do this easily? And I also told myself, maybe you're just not meant to be a mother. And when I realized that those are the things that I was telling myself in my head, I just knew that I had to turn that around. I was just like, you can eat all the kale in the world, and it's not going to mean a hill of beans if you don't believe in your heart that this is going to end in a baby for you. So I really spent a lot of time at that point. I kept on eating well and kept on doing yoga and kept on taking care of myself. But I shifted focus a little bit to really hone in on talking to myself better and, really spending time journaling and in meditation and just really cultivating that mindset so that I would have the unwavering faith and trust in my journey. And when I went in for my 4th IUI, actually, day 1 of that cycle, when I got my period and called the clinic and told them that I was ready to start a new cycle, I just knew that it was going to work. And I don't know where that comes from, but I just knew, and it was different. It wasn't like a feeling of being positive. It was a knowing. And I just knew that it was going to work, and it did.
Oh, I love that you say that, because that's one of the first questions that I ask all my clients. Do you actually believe that you can get pregnant? Because if you don't, then we need to have a serious conversation around mindset and around belief.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's so important. And like you say, it might be one of the most important things. Like, you have to have that faith, and you have to have that deep down knowing in your soul that this is going to work.
Absolutely.
And sometimes too, I think that's you, like the law of attraction. You're putting that out into the universe, into, whatever spiritual God or whatever you believe in, but you're putting that out there like, I know this is going to work. And then it does.
Yeah, and it's hard, Kayla, because a lot of people, and I totally get it, I totally understand it, we want to be hopeful and we want to be, we want to have that faith and that trust, but we also don't want to get our hopes up. And it's kind of a self-protection mechanism, because, you get your hopes up and you're so optimistic and you're so hopeful and you're so excited, and then it doesn't happen and you come crashing down. And it's almost like, well, if I don't get my hopes up, then I won't be so hurt when it doesn't work. And my response to that is, when you're on a fertility journey and you're trying so hard to get pregnant and it's something that you want so much, the pain is the pain, whether you go into it with that optimism or if you go into it more guarded. It's going to be painful either way. So it's really important to do that work around cultivating that mindset because, and through our lives, especially for those of us at an older age, we've had careers. We've learned how to kind of bring our A game to job interviews and promotions and, really excelling at work and conquering the working world. And we need to learn how to translate kind of that, how we develop that success for ourselves in our careers to our fertility journeys as well.
Right. I completely agree. So talk to me about regrets. What do you say to people that might be having some regrets and how to kind of move past those?
Regret's a bitch, man. So regret's hard. Regret's a hard one. And this is something that I have really dealt with on my own journey. And I would say, before even getting married, because I got married so late. I had been in my early 20s. I had been with my college boyfriend for several years, and then we broke up. And after that, it was just a long time before I found someone else again. And I thought so many times over the years, like, oh, I should have just married him, and I, would have had kids by now, and life would be awesome. And instead, my life sucks. And the same on a fertility journey, like, oh, why didn't I do this when I was younger? Why didn't I just marry him? And I would have just done all this already, and I'd have kids in college by now. And, and it's the kind of the way I learned how to think about it after that is with dealing with regret is kind of where we are in our life right now. Like all roads lead to the now. Whether you had gone down this road or that road or the other road, they're all going to lead to the same place. And where you are right now in your life, kind of metaphorically speaking, is exactly where you're meant to be. If you had, married a different person or moved to a different state or taken a different job or not taken another job or focused on building a family or focused on doing something else, they're all going to lead you to where you are now. And it's so easy to look back on your life and, kind of wonder if we had taken another path where we would be today, and would life be better? Would we be happier? And the only thing we can say with any degree of certainty, Kayla, is that our life would be different. We have no way of knowing if it would be better or not. We don't even know what that means. Like, how would you even define what better is in a totally different construct? So the only thing we really know is that our life would be different. And where we are right now, the lessons we've learned to get us to where we are today, is exactly where we're meant to be, metaphorically speaking. So knowing that, it makes it so much easier to understand and to look back on our life and the paths that we've taken and the choices that we've made and see it in kind of a larger, from a larger view, a larger sense.
Right. And I find too that regret it doesn't serve us. Like, it's not productive. It's not positive. So let's not even go there, and just like what you said, you would be somewhere different, but would that be better? I don't know.
There's no way to know. There's
Exactly.
no way to know. But it's hard. And it's hard on this journey. It's really easy to beat ourselves up over choices we made or didn't make. And, kind of wondering if we'd be happier if we had done something else. It's kind of a grass is always greener kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. The grass is the greenest where you decide to plant it.
Right.
So you have a choice now where you are in your life now, and everything in your past that's led you to where you are today. You have a choice to take care of yourself and to do everything you can to maximize your chances and be healthy, the healthiest you that you can be for this journey, and the healthiest you can be for your partner and for your loved ones. Those are all choices, and those are all things that we can and do control every single day.
100%. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about taking care of yourself and kind of some of the best ways to do that. So tell me about self-care. What do you think about self-care, and what are some of your favorite self-care practices?
Yeah, so I really like to embody a back to basics approach to self-care. On my own trying to conceive journey at the age of 42, that's what I did. I didn't, take a lot of crazy supplements. I did not do acupuncture. I didn't do a lot of those things. I didn't, take Vitex and drink red raspberry tea. And those things are all great. Those are all great things to look into and see if they work for you. So, but my point is that we don't necessarily need those things. Really, as long as we're focusing on the basics. And by the basics, I mean how we're eating, how and what we're eating, looking at a balanced diet that's, whole food, clean food, fruits, vegetables, grains, preferably organic if possible. Those kind of non-processed foods, eliminating, minimizing sugar and refined food intake. The food that nature has given us. Right. Right. So how we eat is huge. How we move our body. And again, it doesn't, we're not trying to run a marathon here, if you can just get out a few times a week and just get out in nature and just go out for a walk. Walking is amazing. It's like the most basic thing that we can do, but it's an amazing thing that we can do for our body. Walking or yoga or just light bicycling, just moderate exercise, 3 or 4 times a week is awesome. Sleep is like the sleeping giant. I call it the sleeping giant. Right. Sleep is something that we, don't always think about, and we shortchange a lot when we get really busy and stressed out, feeling like we have to get all these things done every day. Sleep is like the first thing to go, but sleep is, so critical to our hormone production. And this is something that, you know about since you focus on the hormones. It's so critical for our hormone production, which is such a huge part of, the fertility game. So getting adequate rest, in terms of quantity and in the quality of the sleep that we're getting. And then, just spending time with our loved ones is so, to nurture those spiritual connections and those emotional connections that we have with people, and caring for ourselves sort of on that mental and emotional and spiritual level through time spent with our loved ones. It's really important. So again, just the basics, food, sleep, movement, quality time spent doing other things, and the things that make us happy and light our soul on fire, hobbies that we have, if you like music or art, any kind of creative outlet, those are the things that kind of make us love being alive. So find those things and really nurture them.
I love that. And pretty much everything you mentioned is part of the hormone puzzle, which is what we talk about a lot on this show. So I completely agree with all of that. I love it. So talk to us a little, and this might be the same as what we just talked about, but if somebody is older, say 35 and up, and maybe they've got diminished ovarian reserve, maybe not, but are there certain things that they can do to increase their fertility naturally?
Again, I think food is key. With female infertility anyway, a leading cause of that is issues with our ovulation. Mm-hmm. And certainly that happens as we get older. Our cycles become more irregular. And when we really delve into issues with our ovulation, we find that in most instances, it really is caused by a hormonal imbalance. So again, just looking at sort of that underlying cause of hormone imbalance, looking at ways that we can, bring that back into balance, again, through the self-care tools and the diet and the lifestyle tools that I talked about can really go a long way towards helping that. And fortunately, issues with ovulation and hormone imbalance is one of the easiest things for a doctor to correct also if you're under a doctor's care. Certainly, egg quality can be an issue as we get older, which is why we see, more women of an advanced age. We see increased instances of pregnancy loss in those groups. And, certainly supplementing through, CoQ10 or ubiquinol can really, that's been shown to really have a dramatic effect on improving egg quality. So that's something that you might want to look into as well in consultation with your doctor.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So I love that you created a method around kind of the steps you took to get pregnant. So talk to us about that method and about, if you have programs, kind of how people can work with you if they'd like to.
Sure. So again, I call it the 3 pillars of fertility empowerment. Again, it's, looking at your cycles, so important for anyone on a fertility journey. And so I teach, how you can tune into your fertility signs and track your fertility signs and learning what your signs are telling you so that you can really get laser focused on your cycles and really get a handle on your cycles and learn about your body. So that's, one of the pillars, taking care of yourself physically, and we can look at all those lifestyle tools that we've talked about, and it's going to be different for every person, what works for you. So really getting into learning, what works for you. And then again, not overlooking the mindset piece because it's so important. And that's the 3rd pillar. Kayla, fertility, I tend to think of it as just like a big jigsaw puzzle. Mm-hmm. And maybe you do too. That's why you call it the puzzle method, right?
Puzzle method, yeah.
I mean, it's like a big puzzle. And there are some common pieces, diet, lifestyle, cycles, mindset, sleep. There are some common pieces to the puzzle. But the way the puzzle pieces fit together is going to be different for each person. And that's such a big part of such a big part of it is figuring out, how the pieces fit together for you. And so that's really what we, work on in my coaching programs. So I offer group coaching programs, individual coaching programs, seasonal cleanses. So, to really reboot your body from the inside out each season. Cleansing was a big part of my journey through fertility. I did my first cleanse. The winter I started trying to conceive, and the next thing I knew, a year had gone by and I had cleansed every season. So I now offer a cleanse every season using the healing power of, clean, whole, fertility boosting food. So I offer the cleanses as well.
Awesome. So tell us where we can find you.
Sure, you can go to my website, yourfertileself.com, and there you can download my free ebook, 101 Ways to Boost Your Fertility, even if you're over 35 and have been told there's no chance. So that's a great little book that you can just kind of thumb through, and there's all kinds of just easy, actionable things that you can start doing right away to help maximize your chance of conceiving. I'd like to point out, you don't have to actually do all 101 things. I didn't do all 101 things. Again, it's different for everyone, but certainly you can thumb through and, pick a few that resonate with you and start there. And after a few weeks, maybe add a couple more and just see where it takes you. But you can get that book on my website. I'm on Instagram at Your Fertile Self, Facebook, Your Fertile Self, and I'm on YouTube also.
I love it. So definitely everyone go check her out. Thank you, Stephanie. You were always amazing to talk to. I really enjoyed hearing your story and getting to know you a little better.
Thanks so much for having me, Kayla. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So do you have any final thoughts for us before we close out?
I would just love to remind everyone that age is not a death sentence. Your fertility does not jump off a cliff when you turn 35. It's not too late, and you do still have a chance at having your baby.
Amen to that. I love it. Well, thank you again. As always, it was a pleasure.
Thanks, Kayla.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, hang on just 1 second. Before you go, I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. So make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.